Bold.
Cheeky.
Flashy. Gallus.
Strays has dogs that talk and fuck and swear and shit and fuck and swear and fuck and shit and laugh and cry and shit and talk and fuck. That's basically what all of the characters in this film do. You get 4 main central dogs. One of them's a wee fuck machine. 2 of them constantly have sexual tension, and one of them's just this new fresh dog who's got he's got a motive. His motive is to bite off his old owner's penis, which I'm not going to tell you whether he does or whether he doesn't. I'm just going to tell you that there's all sorts of hijinks along the way, featuring a sequence where they all go on drugs and slaughter rabbits, featuring a sequence where they get arrested and they shit everywhere. This is a story of 4 dogs in the kind of coming of age sense. It's a bit like every film in this genre. It's a bit like Toy Story. It's a bit like Secret Life of Pets. Talk to Me is a film that surprised me. That is a sentence and a half, innit? Yes, the weird horror thriller thing that was brought into this world this year with a hand and a very likeable cast is very hard to sit through. It's very hard to watch, and somehow it is actually quite scary and quite unnerving. You would not believe that, would you? Talk to Me is a film that anyone that hasn't seen it needs to immediately seek it out and experience the feelings that they will feel whilst watching this, and anyone that has seen it knows exactly why and will probably consider watching it again. I will watch it again. It is Talk to Me. It's a film that I'm not going to say much about for fear of spoilers. I'm just going to recommend it. Some of 2023's finest work. It is up there for one of my top films of the year. In fact, it makes my top 10 films of the year list. Absolute masterpiece. Well done. No hard feelings. Jennifer Lawrence dates a 19-year-old kid because his parents, Matthew Broderick, is like, you know what, you're going to college, son, and you've never had sex, you've never seen a woman before, you've never dated a lady. You know what, I'm going to pay this lady by giving her a car because she needs it, reason 5, to date you. And that's what happens. Jennifer Lawrence's character goes from being a pretty decent woman to all of a sudden putting on like one of the weirdest sexual acts I've seen in quite some time. It was weird. It was very enjoyable weird though, because they did have surprisingly fun chemistry together, which made the rest of the film entertaining, even though you knew exactly where it was going when it started. You knew there was going to be a bit where they fall out when he found out, and you know exactly how it was going to go. And you know what? I dig the friendship. It is such a fun friendship between these 2 characters, and I kind of want more of it. So, well done, No Hard Feelings, for being half decent, pretty good, actually. Very good. I'd recommend you check out No Hard Feelings if it seems like your kind of thing. Asteroid City. Now, I'm not a Wes Anderson man myself. I've been very vocal in the past about how much I dislike his style and how much I dislike the way his films look and feel and the humour I just don't get. But for some strange reason, Asteroid City clicked with me. I really liked the humour. I really liked how it looked, and I absolutely adored the setting. The setting being my favourite thing in the entire film. It was shot in such a beautiful place. It was shot in such a beautiful way. The plot was fine enough, you know, it told a decent enough story. And the gags and visual humour, that's something cinema needs to take advantage of more, which is why this film severely worked. Again, you could talk about the cast because it's a Wes Anderson film, but I'm not gonna. Cast's of course great. Really dug the black and white bits throughout the film. They were very, very good. Really dug the random, it's this person. That was really, really good, and really dug majority of the jokes. And hey, that alien in the middle looked damn good. 2023's Pixar submission for Disney 100 Elemental. I had a lot of excitement heading into this film because the poster looked cool and the trailer seemed fun. And you know what? It was. Yes, we can gloss over the racial connotations of everything that happens, and you know what? I'm going to do that, and I'm just going to sit down and tell you that the love story between the fire and water, it was just a good story. I really enjoyed it. It was really simple, and like they didn't explain much about what was happening, and did they explore the worlds we were in to their like highest capabilities? Probably not. Can I identify what the like higher message is? Not really. Did I have a hell of a good time watching it at like 8:30 in the morning? Yes, I did. Was I completely sober? Yes, I was. Did I cry? Unfortunately, no, Pixar. You didn't get tears from me this time, so I guess Pixar lost. But it might get tears from you. But Pixar lost my fight.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film that came out this year was in fact pretty good. I may have had higher hopes for it, but it is a children's film after all. You know, I'm a long time Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan. I always thought it was badass. And so it doesn't disappoint. I think it's Ice Cube who plays the main character. He is, or sorry, not the main character, the main antagonist, Superfly, who is actually very good. Most of the mutants in it are very good. Splinter's very good. I think he's voiced by Jackie Chan. April's a little bit disappointing in my eyes, only a little bit. She doesn't have as much charisma as the original April did, but it's not a bad thing. They make good use of it. They turn it into something new, something special. That's what the film is. It's pretty good. The animations in it is pretty damn good. The fight scenes in it, which there aren't as many as I would have hoped, are also very good. But overall, pretty good film, and I would recommend it.
Missing is a very unique film in the sense that at no point during the film do I believe there is a single scene that isn't viewed through some form of screen or device. It is a film that I very much enjoyed, the detective research, searching through the internet, using different cameras, communicating to people from different countries through different WhatsApps and all that jazz to tell the investigative narrative. But I do think if done more, it could get very overplayed very quickly. It is a lot to look at, but it is a very engaging first time viewing. The second time I watched it, it obviously went down in my expectations because I knew what the USP was, I knew what the story was, and it wasn't as good. And the main character is quite dislikable. But other than that, the film I really would recommend checking out, even just to experience it, because, hey, if it's not the best film in the world, it is one hell of an experience. Red, white, royal, blue, pink, wedding, and all that jazz is a film that came out this year, and you know what? It's absolutely spectacular. You have Henry, you have Alexander, you have two lovely wee men exploring themselves, they're gay, they're binus, and you enjoy them just basically going from enemies to lovers and following every Wattpad trope, but through absolute kingdom come beautiful stuff, because it's just so nice to see these two people so happy, to reflect how not happy I guess everyone else in the world is. It's also like got weird king and politics things, and you know what good films are? Good films are films that feature America, yeah, and Britain, yeah, going head to head to see who is the best. And you know what? Britain wins every single time when you hurl in Scotland, when you hurl in the stereotypes. Like, it's just heavy American stereotypes, heavy Texan stereotypes. Sympathy for the Devil is Nicolas Cage's most recent random film role that he's found himself in. Not only did he produce the film, but he also starred in it, playing the role of the passenger, the red-haired, red-jacket Nicolas Cage variant of the Joker, who passes film time by saying monologues about the most random things, in Nicolas Cage's most recent attempt to say the most random sentences and pass it off as a film. However, did I enjoy the simple plot of man gets in car, there's a mystery, man drives man in car, violence? Yes, I very much enjoyed it because I'm a simple man. The lighting in the film was absolutely spectacularly fun. Green lights, red lights, blue lights, just constantly. It is like Drive, but far better. It is like Taxi Driver, but far better, because Nicolas Cage. I really enjoyed Sympathy for the Devil, and I'd highly recommend it to anyone. There's a film that came out this year called Theatre Camp, and you know what? Why do I really, really like it? You've got Jean, who unfortunately cannot run her theatre camp this year, so it is put in the hands of her son who is a cryptocurrency bro. He has, it's cocaine and tits every Thursday at lunchtime, bro, so on and so forth. He's got that kind of energy. Oh, what a dumb concept. You've got all the... It's not really about him, he's not too important, he's just kind of dicking around making mistakes, but you've got such a likeable group of people making all of these very fun interactions, and does it fall into many tropes and stereotypes? I don't think it does. It's a very exciting cast. They're all so charismatic, all the wee theatre brains, and you know what? I'm on board fully. I want to go to this theatre camp. I want to meet all these funky teachers, and there's also a plot line with a teacher that rocks up having just completely lied. It's also in the style of a dodgy documentary, and I love how tonally and stylistically all over the place this film is.
Barbie is an amazing film. It goes past the hype of being a film about Barbie and goes into actually good territory. It is a film for the girls, I must say. I went and watched it with two girls. Both of them cried at the end. I didn't. I cried at the part where Ken... It was something involving a horse. I can't quite remember, but I remember it moved me. Every scene with Ken in it was the best scene in the film. The scene especially where he's wandering around the human world for the first time. That was quite good. I love his cowboy outfit. It's very badass. All the horse talk, his Mojo Dojo Casa House. You know, I wish I had one of them. And you know, it's a film that some parts, even though it's made for women just don't understand as much as we boys do. And that's just a sad reality. You know, when it comes to cinema, there's just some things that only we can get. But yeah, it's a great film. And if you haven't seen it already, I would highly recommend it.
Saw X is sure as hell something in it, you know? You sit down and you're like, well, the last couple have been a load of garbage. Everyone's been shitting on them. Oh, it's good. Oh, it looks amazing. It's shot and edited amazing. It brings back that funky, fast-paced, quickie, shitty Saw 1 style editing. Basically, if you'd watched Saw 1 try to make an homage that involves John Kramer and his backstory in further detail, this is what you get. It has no right to be so good, and it has no right to be so violent. Yes, it loses it right at the end when it goes completely off the rails with the twists, which I wasn't the world's greatest fan of, but, well, actually, I mean, I saw them coming, and I felt quite happy that I was right, but also, I could have done better. Then the Hoffman bit at the end, you know what, Saw X is damn fucking good. Saw X is damn fucking good. David Fincher's The Killer found itself released in 2023 and followed Michael Fassbender doing some things. Tilda Swinton shows up at the end, but none of that is important. The important parts of this film is how visually nice it looks. It looks very visually nice because it's Fincher, you know. But you can ignore that and focus on the 11 count 'em Smith songs played throughout the film. That is 11 more than you usually get in a film. However, the weird thing it did where it was like, oh, you're listening to its headphones, so you can't really hear it and you're only going to hear one line from every song. Oh, come on. I got excited. I thought I was going to get like full scenes with Smith songs in the backgrounds, but no. Just a little background Smith song. Still very much enjoyed the film. I've watched it twice, which is twice more than I thought I would have watched it when I saw it was coming out. And full props to Fincher for making another pretty good to great film. Barbie's quite good, isn't it? That new Barbie thing. I'm all for surrealism. I'm on board fully. I mentioned on many occasions that I was hoping it would take the tone of the trailer, and considering the trailer was the opening, 5 minutes of the film? Oh, absolute cracking. You've got amazing acting, so on and so forth, and just a well-told story with real-world stuff, you know. No one really knew what they were getting going in, and what we got was exactly what we should have. Very well done to Greta, and the very fun, absolutely adorable Ken. Like, what a character. What an absolute character. And you know what, I do feel things watching the film, which is always a good thing, so there is that. I highly would recommend Barbie because, well, it's the biggest film of the year, I think. On to the next. You Are So Not Invited to My Bar Mitzvah is a film that will be put on. We watched, and well, we didn't really know where it was going when we sat down to watch this, and you know, it went its places, it did its thing, and you know what? I didn't hate it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not my favourite thing I've ever seen, and I would argue that it's not particularly good, but I did not hate it like I should have. A lot of the main characters are annoying and I don't really like them, but the side characters is where the film shines. The side characters is what makes the film. The side characters such as, are you ready for this? Woman! Sorry, sisters, yes, and Adam Sandler. The sister and her friend, best characters in the film with the most iconic lines, you know, they're horror, like watching, rooting for the Evil Dead shout out, rooting for, I believe it's a Wicker Man, was it? I'm not sure, maybe I just envisioned a Wicker Man. And Adam Sandler killed it, he's the star of the show, absolutely adore his role in this film. Bird Box Barcelona is something that exists. And that's really the nicest thing I can say about Bird Box Barcelona. It had no reason to exist. No one needed a Bird Box sequel. No one wanted a Bird Box sequel, Netflix, but you gave us a Bird Box sequel. You take the concept, you threw it in Barcelona, and the film looks and generally is actually quite fun. Was I paying much attention? No. Was it all in a foreign language? Yeah. Did I really want to know the logistics around how the film came to be? No. Did I watch it and really enjoy the ending? Yeah. The final 30 minutes are actually dead good. Everything else that happens I have no care in the world for, which meant when I did hit that final 30 minutes I didn't really know what was happening because I wasn't paying attention. Would I say check out Bird Box Barcelona? No. Would I say research how it exists and tell me? Aye, because I don't want to waste my time figuring out why Bird Box Barcelona exists. Bottoms is the highlight of the year in terms of film. Like, in terms of wee surprises that come out of nowhere, this wee film about these two wee friends that set up an underground fight ring for women empowerment in their school is definitely somehow the funniest film that I've seen this year. There is so much gold when it comes to comedy in this, and it just feels very vibrant. It was very well written, very well directed, very well shot. There's your fancy pish. The main characters have a conflict that at a point where they, oh, now they're falling out and oh. But then you kind of are brought back round and you're like, actually, no. I know this tried and tested trope is tried and tested and overused and starting to be quite annoying, or at least I'm starting to get quite annoyed by it. But no, I'm enjoying this particular edition of this overused thing. So well done, Bottoms. You made the top of my 2023 list. That's not true. You were somewhere near the top of it. Love at First Sight opens with a be wary of brand sponsorship during this film. And I'm sitting watching this try to think, where is the brand sponsorship? Ritz Crackers sponsor this film. There is one point where Ritz Crackers are shown on screen quite heavily, and I'm assuming the beer that they kept drinking, because it was always the same, is also one of the sponsors. This film was very fun and very adorable. Two characters meet on a plane and then they fall in love at first sight, and then they spend their day in London because they were in the same location trying to find each other and cementing with the kind of worlds around them that they should be together. Now, the thing that I'm going to remember most about this film, aside from its 5-star masterpiece, a wee story, is the fact that everything's so pink. There is so much pink in this film and it is amazing. Everything that's typically red in the real world, London buses, London street signs, is even pinker. There's a lot of blues as well, but there's so much pink, and you know what? I absolutely love it. I want more of it. Just make all films pink, and it is Wednesday as I sit here to record this.
In this OMFRU we're talking about Barbie, and it's the 2023 one, of course, we're talking about. It is certainly an interesting film that it's quite good as well, but it went more in depth about issues than I expected it to be. Because when the whole Barbenheimer craze was happening, I thought, oh well, this is a stark contrast. It's going to be a palate cleanser for people who saw Oppenheimer. It's going to be a nice little fluffy, fun film for people to watch. No, I don't think it was really. It, a lot of people walked out of there crying. Well, I didn't, but I did see people who were for understandable reasons, of course. But it left emotional impact on a lot of people than I thought. So, it's certainly really, I'd say it's pretty good for that if a film can pull that off. And well, you can see this for yourself when you watch it and everything. Just give it a watch. I think everyone should at least once.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is the best in the trilogy, in this trilogy of Guardians of the Galaxy films.
And I don't know if it will be the last, but we'll just have to wait and see. But it's probably my favourite. Rocket's story was something that was very anticipated, and I think they handled it extremely well. It was a very dark film, but I still really enjoyed it for that. It was a bit of a contrast to what was like they still had that Guardians of the Galaxy feel, They had that music still, and they still managed to have a bit of that emotional impact, which is really good. There was a lot of good scenes, a lot of the good characters, but my favorite was definitely that one cut scene where we're all ganged up, we're all back together after Rocket is saved, and they all just start demolishing this team of enemies. It's really, really, really good, and can't get wrong with any music in the films. It's just really, really good. Okay, go and watch it.
Puss in Boots 2 The Lost Wish is visually incredible. Story wise, incredible. The Big Bad Wolf plotline that runs through it is my favourite thing in any film I've seen as of recent times. Like, just the way it's like, I am death, always brooding in the background, waiting, and it'll huff and it'll puff and it'll blow the house down. I will talk about Puss in Boots to anyone and everyone. The animation, amazing. The little sequence where he goes to the cat's house and meets the dog, amazing. Kitty Softball is amazing. Florence Pugh and the Big Bad Wolf, Guy Ritchie plotline, amazing. I have not a negative word about this film. It is 5-star rated by me on all form of movie rating platforms, and I mean the only one I know is Letterboxd, but it is 5-star rated by me on that. Ant-Man Quantumania, was that this year? I think that was this year, 2023. Of course it was. I'm just playing around with it. Like, it's fun because of how shit it is, and that is the nicest thing I can say about Ant-Man Quantumania. Like, it's bad, but it's really fun, but it's really bad, and there's a bit where, like, and also fuck Kang and the actor, but, like, there's a bit where, like, an ant kills him or something. There's a bit where ants stamp it. Like, it looked so funny because of how poor it was in places that I couldn't help but laugh and enjoy it. Some of the visuals were quite funny. The guy who, like, puts his hand through himself or whatever, it was just holes. He was quite funny. Was it really funny? Not particularly. Do I remember much about it? Not particularly. Will I ever rewatch it? Not particularly. If I'm doing an MCU watch through, I will have stopped before I get to Ant-Man 3. Scream 6, Are You Screaming? Are You Screaming is genuinely one of my favourite Scream films. Yes, it's weird and it makes no sense for them to have a ladder in a flat. Ignore that. Ignore how convoluted and dumb it is. It's just fun. The ending is so batshit and mental that it wins me over every single time. The characters, they are what they are. Gale dies, and it is such a saddening scene. There is really, really good kills. The opening is, I would say, my favourite Scream opening. Scream 6, what is not to like about Scream 6? I really do like the end reveal, and also the bit where, like, Lady beats the ever-loving crap out of, like, someone at the end. They also all get stabbed, like, way too many times to then go on and survive. And then poor Dad at the end gets stabbed, like, once in the arm, and somehow he dies. He gets stabbed about 20 times in the arm. Yeah, it's not good. Murder Mystery 2, the sequel to Murder Mystery, Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston, it's quite good. I enjoyed it. It got way too elaborate in comparison to the first one. But was it fun? Yeah. Are the characters interesting? They're interesting enough. Was I terrified when my favourite character from the first one was portrayed as the victim in this one? Absolutely. I was terrified. Did I like the policeman gags? I actually kind of like the policeman gags pay off from the first one. Overall, aside from the incredibly unrealistic ending, it is quite a chilled, quite a relaxed, quite an enjoyable, popcorny, turn off your brain, let it raw, and watch this crap film type deal. So yeah, not much more to say on Murder Mystery 2. Would I recommend it? Honestly, no. I would recommend the first one though. Oh, it's Gerard Butler. Oh, it's plain. Gerard Butler in playing. Went to see this film at the cinema with a mate at the beginning of the year. We were the only people in the room for the film. Oh, what a good time it was. You've got this happening and all the other stuff. Remember The Woman King? That was a film that was released at some... Anyway, playing. What a great time. Gerard Butler, Scotland. He does a William Wallace freedom speech. It's now on Prime and everyone's ranting and raving about how good it is on Prime and... No, I saw it at the cinema. And it was damn good. I was there before you were there. I've taken a route with this one. But aye, what an absolutely stellar wee bit of fun. It's about a plane crash and he's Scottish. That's really all you need to know about it. I yield my time. I yield my time. We've got 3 seconds to go. I don't yield much time. Knock in the Cabin in the Wood is a story that I will not remember for its main 2 characters and the daughter. I will remember it for the incredibly weird cult family that rocks up to the cabin in the woods featuring Dave Bautista that one by one off themselves. As like the world ends around. You're sitting waiting for the M. Night Shyamalan twist and I genuinely can't remember if there is an M. Night Shyamalan twist. Was it any good? I suppose it was alright. It is the most 50%, the most 2.5 stars, the most 5 out of 10, the most 4 out of 8 film I have witnessed all year. Like, I have no complaints, but I also have nothing positive to say about it. Dave Bautista? Is he a positive that I can say about it? Like, do you want to tell me something good about the film? Do you want to tell me something bad about the film? Because you'll try, and you'll probably almost definitely fail. Because there is nothing good about the film. M3 Gan, released this year, I believe, released in the States last year. You've got killer doll Megan, who sings songs and kicks absolute ass. This film is really funny. Like, it is really quite funny. Myself and a mate watched it in the cinema, it was heaving, and we all just laughed our heads off at Titanium. We laughed our heads off when that kid mounted her and attempted to do horrible things, and then she absolutely slaughtered him, ripping her ear off and forcing him to die. That bit where she dances, it is generally quite a funny film, and her voice is perfect for it, and genuinely the humour in the film works. The neglectful parent side character who's not actually the girl's real parent, but she's really, really good at what she does. The kid's really fun. The neighbour, big fan of the neighbour character who dies, and then of course unfortunately doggy death, which should never happen in anything, so fuck you Meg 3 Gan, or M3 Gan, sorry, not Meg 3 Gan. Are you a bear? No, I'm not a bear. Are you on cocaine? No, I'm not on cocaine. Why are all these voices wandering so much? Cocaine Bear released this year, and to much praise for quite a lot of people, shout out to Calum and Cocaine and Talking Cracky, whatever his podcast was called. Cocaine Bear's good. It's a lot of fun. They embraced how much fun it is, and the more I think about it sat here, the more I remember how much fun it was. The bit where the bear literally goes ape and mauls people, the bit where the bear's on the roof, the implications of the children being on cocaine. It's a really fun film, and of course based on a true story, which is just the icing on the already mad cake. Big fan of all of the cocaine related sharks and birds and all sorts. They're also capitalising Canadian alligator, was it, or something? Cocaine-gator, I don't know. But yeah, absolute dynamite film Cocaine Bear is. Five Nights at Freddy's released recently, the film about the game Five Nights at Freddy's, the game for children. And there's so many adults that won't shut up talking about it. I was at work the other day and I heard a group of 4 talking about Five Nights at Freddy's. They were adult people. It's a film for children. It's a game for children. Why is there so many adults into this weird children thing? And it's not like one of the cool children's things like Pixar. It's one of the lame things like FNAF. I don't care about what they say on the internet about Five Nights at Freddy's. It's not a good game. It's not an interesting film. The Nicolas Cage version is far better. Any spoof version is far better. It's quite an alright concept. It wasn't executed. I actually kind of enjoyed the film. But not because I'm a child. Because it's a kind of okay film. I'm not a child. I'm not a child. Okay? Not child. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year. John Wick 4 is the best film of the year.